when you are trying to create content as an author. First and foremost, we have to find out what's valuable, right? So the equation looks like this: find value, describe value, provide value, right? Find, describe, provide. Okay. So what does that look like? Simply put, if you are writing a book to help somebody else, you need to first find out what their pain point is. You need to find out what their major issue is. That's how you determine what's valuable for them, right? What do they want? What are their goals? What is stopping them from achieving those goals? What are the major issues in their life? What are the things that keep them up at night, right? You have to find that out. You have to be aware of your demographic and your audience and what they're looking for. When you go to create content around your book, it's not just you saying, oh, I have a book. My book just dropped. Here go my book, buy my book. Oh, my book is out, buy my book. It's really about you letting the audience and your readership know, and potential readership know, that you have something for them. So the first thing that you do is that you have to find out what they want. What do they want? What are they after? What are they looking for? What things are they trying to achieve? That's step one. That's finding the value. And you do that through research, right? You poll your audience, you go hang out in a couple Facebook groups, you go to LinkedIn, right? You do a Google search, you do a YouTube search, you do an Instagram search, you do a Pinterest search. You are looking to find out what your audience is dealing with so that you can discover that and provide the solution. That's step one. Find the value. The next thing that you have to do is define it, right? Define value. And what that means is you have to find the language and the terminology and the phrasing that your audience uses, right? What are the things that they are specifically saying and how are they describing their pain, right? So for example, I am a writing coach. So if I think there's so many things I think you need to know when it comes to writing a book. So one of the big things is like how to, make sure that your book is effective, or how to make sure that you're effectively positioning the chapters in your book to give you the right information. Nobody's searching for that, right? While I think that that is valuable, there's not a YouTube search on it. There's not a Google search on it. There's nothing specific that someone is saying, hey, I'm having this issue. Now, I know it because of the work that I do. I know it's an issue that people have. But if I want people to find out that I can help them, I have to let them know that I can solve the problem that they're screaming about. And then I can show them that I know some secrets about the things that they're not even aware of. Right. So that's defining it. Is figuring not just finding the thing, but figuring out what it is that they want and how they're dealing with it, and then giving those words back to them. So I'm not going to produce content that says how to make sure that you have extremely effective chapters, because no one's looking for that. But I can make some content that says how to write your chapter quickly, because that's what people are looking for. Right. That's the question that's coming up in the search threads. Right. That's what people are describing. How to make sure that, not even how to make sure anything, but it's how long does my chapter need to be? So I can answer that question. I can provide insight and feedback concerning that specific question. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for you guys? Let me know if that makes sense for you. So that's number two. Okay. That is number two. Number one is find. Number two is describe. Number three is provide. Now you have to provide it. Right now that you know what the hurt is, now that you know what the pain is, and you know the way that they describe their pain, right? You know the way that this person, thank you, you know the way that this person says that this hurts, right? They're not just saying, oh, this is bothering me. They're saying that it's I'm tossing and turning. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm indecisive. I can't make decisions. I keep going back and forth in these relationships. Whatever those words are that they're using, you want to be able to say to them, hey, you want to get out of a toxic relationship? Here's the secret sauce. And then you give them the sauce, right? You give them a nugget, a strategy, a tip, a piece of content, something from your book. It could be a live, right? Long form content like a live, like YouTube videos, which can be multi-purpose from a YouTube, to Facebook, or Facebook to YouTube, whatever you choose. It could be a quick 90-second reel, right? It can be a podcast interview. It can be a checklist, right? Are these the three things? It can be a swipe thing on Instagram. I can't even think of what it's called. But when you swipe and it's a couple of different slides there, a carousel, right? It can be a carousel that can say, these are the 3 specific things that you might want to avoid going into your next relationship. But you can only do that if you first find out what the issue is, find out what the pain point is that your reader is having, describe that pain in their words, right? Be able to articulate, and remember, it's not your words. It's not you saying, well, if you're sick, then this is what it is. No, it's you saying, okay, I understand that this is how you feel. If you're struggling with weight loss, if you're struggling to, get over this breakup, if you are having restless nights, you are able to say those things back to your audience. So that's what's going to catch their attention in the scroll, right? That's what's going to stop someone, is because you have described their pain. Now you provide the solution. So if you know what sis needs to do to stop going back to that abusive relationship, or if you have some insider secrets on what you did to stop you from going back into that toxic situation, then that's what you provide. That's the value, because people are looking for that. They're not looking to know that you wrote a book. Oh, I wrote a book. Here's my book. They're not even really concerned, not right out the gate, with what you did over the weekend, until they start to know you, like you, trust you. Right. Some of those things aren't the primary concern. But if you're trying to build up your brand and prepare for a book launch, or if you are already a published author and you want more book sales, you want more exposure for your manuscript, then you need to learn how to provide value, right? You need to make sure that you are providing value consistently. And that is 3 parts. Make sure that you find out what that looks like for your reader, what their actual pain points are. Make sure that you can describe that pain in your reader's language, and then make sure that you can provide the solution for their pain in your content. And again, whether that is long form content like YouTube videos or Facebook videos, whether that is Instagram Reels, podcasts, whatever it is, there is value within your content, within your message, but you have to be able to determine exactly what that is and provide that for your reader in those 3 steps. Find it, describe it, provide it. Got it? Does that make sense for you guys? I hope that that's making sense for you guys. Excuse me. Please forgive me. I wanted to jump on and give you guys this quick tip before I wrapped up my day. It has been a phenomenal day. I was at a conference today with Pastor Darius Daniels and Dr. Myron Golden. So that was absolutely awesome. Learned a lot of good stuff. And one of the key conversations that kept coming up was content. And as a writing coach, this is something that writers struggle with all the time, and that is creating content. This is a huge issue, okay? Being able to create content as an author can be a challenge if you don't understand and think about it this way, right? When you are going to provide value for your reader, you have to make sure that you find out what that value point is. Because if it's not valuable to your reader, then it's not valuable, right? Then they don't want it. So find out what that is, describe that pain in their words. How do they articulate their pain? And then provide the solution to their pain. And you can do that in various formats, from podcasts, interviews, social media content, posts, Instagram Reels, whatever. Okay. I'm glad. Good stuff, guys. So again, just a quick conversation with you all on this fine Friday afternoon, because it's Fiction Friday. And I didn't have my juicy fiction tip for you guys, but if there was one that I can give, so let's talk for a quick second about about creating content for a fiction author, right? Because that is a big question also. So as a fiction author, your audience is different. They don't necessarily have a pain point per se, right? They're not necessarily saying this issue in my life is bothering me, but they are saying that this is what I want, right? They are saying that these are the type of books that I enjoy. So again, knowing your audience, understanding where your audience places value. So if you're writing a YA novel, or you're writing, a urban fiction novel, and you're a demographic, the audience that you want to read this book reads other types of books, then that audience, you know what they like, right? They like a juicy sex scene. They like a little bit of drama. They like somebody car getting keyed up, right? Whatever it is that they into. These are the things that demographic likes when it comes to fiction. And so when you are producing or creating content, you should have things like sneak peeks. You should have things, that describe your characters. You should show us some behind the scenes of stuff that's like excerpts outside of the book. These are things that are happening, even behind, that don't go on in the actual pages, right? These are things that you can share to your audience base and to other fiction writers as well. This is where you can show the work in process or progress. This is what it took to get to the finish line. So it's not the exact same for a fiction writer, but it is still predicated on you finding out what's valuable to your readership. A fiction writer doesn't get to escape this because their book is made up, right? Just because you made these things up and you created these characters does not remove you from, wanting to sell this product. That's still the ultimate goal for you. So if you want to sell a product, right? If you want to sell a book, you have to think of a book as a product. You have to think of a book as something that is solving someone's problem. You want them to exchange their money for it, right? So why would they exchange their money for your product? Right? Because your product solves a problem, or your product for a fiction writer, your product engages them, it excites them. There's interesting things going on. Well, how would they know about these things for a fiction writer if you don't share this information, if you don't talk about this, if you don't do behind the scenes, if you don't do lives, if you're not describing, what it is to go, about this writing process and all the exciting things that are going on in your pages. If you don't know where your readers hang out online, right, then you can get in front of them. Are they social media, or are they Instagram people? Are they Facebook people? Are they TikTokers, right? Or are they on YouTube? Where are they hanging out online? So that you can determine the vehicle in which you provide the content. So whether it's going to be on Instagram or Facebook or a blog, right? You need to know where your readership is online. That's research. But that is the key component to this entire process. The piece that I wanted to focus on for this evening has everything to do with value, and those three components of value: finding out what it is, describing what it is in the language that your reader uses to describe their issues, their pains, and then providing the resolution for it. That's what people should see. If people are looking for you online, right? If you want to get out there and be known for something, then you need to be providing value. You need to be giving them information that lets them know you know your stuff. And you can slice that up with other pieces. So what I mean by that is, let's say 100%, right, is the big number. So we would look at 100% of content and say, like, at least 70% of your content as a nonfiction author should be around providing value. It should be around the things that your readership is looking for, the things that they want, the answers that they're trying to find. It should give some type of value to your readership. The other 30%, you can split it. I like to split mine between trending concepts and things, and then family stuff, right? To give you a little perspective as to who I am as an author, as an editor. So I'm not always behind this desk. I'll be out here sometimes, right? But I divide it that way. So majority of my content that I'm going to give out on a regular basis is going to come from the value that I want to provide. So when you see my name pop up on your screen, you already know, Sheree Gray be talking about books. Let me see what I can learn from this conversation today. That's the goal. So when you see that, right, what made you click on this today, right? That popped up. Oh, might want to get some information about some book stuff today, especially marketing and creating content for authors, because that's a hot topic all the time. So again, reiterate: value, value, value. Give value to your nonfiction readers. Give value to your fiction readers as well, just in a different way. Make sure that you are aware of both of your audiences in whatever genre that you're in. Know the demographic, know what they're after, know what they want, know what their goals are, and provide that to them. Find out what value is to your audience, define value in their terms, and then provide the solution. Y'all got it? Make sense? Good stuff, y'all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Friday. I'm going to have a wonderful evening. Love you guys, and I will talk to you guys again real soon.